Let us all raise our glasses to these living legends sitting right here in front of me. For they remind us that the power of medicine lies not just in its science.
Can you imagine two legends in one family, father and son? So again, that's really amazing to see. So just to kick off our conversation, I'm always curious. I'm going to start with you, Minister. I don't want to be punished by not following our protocol. I'm always curious, your journey to be...
Perhaps we can just lower the music a little bit. Thank you. So thank you for your patience. Welcome to everyone here. We have medical students, we have interns, we have registrars, we've got staff, we've got colleagues, and we've got our ex-alumni, and of course our guests right in front here. So here, Prof. Ngama, who is my line manager in DVC, could not make it for this evening. He's always attended our Living Legends meeting, but due to some challenges at home, she could not come this evening. I do know that we've got people online. Am I correct, Kwesi? Yes, thank you so much. So what I'm going to read, I am reading it on behalf of Prof. Ngama, who usually welcomes everybody as the DVC of the College of Health Sciences. So here it goes. Our Honorable Minister, Dr. Joe Pahla, esteemed guests, Professors Ephraim Mokgokong and Sarah Divi Naika, colleagues, alumni, and friends, it is my great honor to welcome you to our 4th Alumni Living Legends Awards ceremony, the brainchild of our own Dean and Head of School, Professor Dlova. I shouldn't be reading this. I asked my colleagues to read this. They're sitting there, they refused, so I had to come stand here. So we are gathered today to celebrate those extraordinary individuals whose tireless dedication, groundbreaking discoveries, and unyielding compassion have revolutionized the field of healthcare and saved countless lives. These remarkable men and women are not only pioneers, but also shining because of hope, guiding us towards a healthier and brighter future. This afternoon, I'm excited to inform you of the latest developments at UKZN. This year, we're launching our new 10-year strategic plan, 2023 to 2032. The main purpose of the plan is to reposition the university as an international research-intensive institution of higher learning, contributing to practical approaches to the challenges facing humankind at every level. In order to achieve this, the plan consists of 5 strategic goals, which will address immediate challenges and societal needs, but also pursue our core purpose, which is to inspire greatness in every aspect of our mandate. There's a long thing that Prof. Ngama wrote here, but I think I'm going to skip a few paragraphs in the interest of time. So UKZN is a global player, and as such, internationalization is key to our very existence. Our world rankings indicate that UKZN is firmly entrenched in the top 2.4% of 20,531 universities worldwide, and in the top 4 in South Africa. These are very exciting times for our institution, and we're very proud of this. It takes this opportunity to invite you as our alumni and friends to join us as we enter this new phase at UKZN, where together we shall reposition our institution for continued global competitiveness and sustainability. To the living legends of medicine, we thank you for your selflessness, your brilliance, and your unwavering commitment to the well-being of humanity. Your legacy will continue to inspire generations of medical professionals to come. And your work will undoubtedly shape the course of medicine for years to come. Let us all raise our glasses to these living legends sitting right here in front of me. For they remind us that the power of medicine lies not just in its science, but in the hearts of those who practice it with love and dedication. Together, let us march forward, carrying the torch of hope, transforming the world one life at a time. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the session. Thank you. These are Prof. Ngama's words, not mine. Moving on to the next part of our agenda. So, colleagues, again, as Prof. Ngama mentioned, this initiative was inspired by the thought that most of the time, our colleagues who have contributed so much in health sciences, they are made memorable posthumously. And we felt that this needs to change. How validating, how amazing for one to hear the achievements, the contribution that one has made during their lifetime, not where they are sitting right here in the box in front of us. And that's the reason we have these individuals here. This is the third one. We've had, how many, about maybe 9 or 12, fourth one before, yeah, fourth one. So this is an ongoing project. Whether I'm dead or I'm not here, it will continue. And I hope those who take after me will continue with this legacy and initiative. So without further ado, I'm now going to introduce our guests. We have Professor Ephraim Tibedi Mokgokong. Prof. Tibedi Mokgokong has been recently honored the Order of Wab in gold for his excellent contribution to medical fraternity. You will notice I'm starting with our senior citizens. So, and I believe he is 89 years old. But look at him. We do hope that when we are 89, we will look like him, we will feel like him, and we will walk with a swag like him. Yes. And coming from a dermatologist that I am, looking at that face, yes, I can easily make him 60 years old. So that's the power of melanin. Right. So, colleagues, as I mentioned, he was born in 1934 from a village. Mokgokong village, which is 32 kilometers of Polokwane, next to Petersburg. And he received his secondary education at the Johannesburg Bantu. It was called Bantu High School then. You can really rewind. These young people don't know what that means. And this school was then situated in the then Western Native Township, just south of Sophia Town. Prof. Tibedi Mokgokong completed a BSc degree at the University of Fort Hare in 1956. In 1962, he graduated with an MBCHB from none other than our UKZN University, where he started as a registrar in ONG. In 1967, he was admitted as fellow of the College of ONG and College of Medicine. He served at the South African Medical Dental Council for 25 years, being one of the first Black in the council, and also served at one point as the deputy president of the Interim Medical and Dental Council. He is the first Black gynecologist to qualify and practice in South Africa. You can imagine how things were those days. And as I always say to colleagues, when you are first in anything in life, in any degree, in any field, you have a political and social responsibility to groom more people to be better than you. And this resonates so well with Professor Mokgokong, because I don't know how many of his mentees are here nationally, globally, and internationally, because they saw him, young man from a village, being a gynecologist, and they said, I want to be like him. And that's the power of passive role modeling. And that's why at UKZN, we feel very strongly about diversity. Diversity is strength. And we want to make sure that each and every ethnic group is represented in our medical school. And we shall continue to strive for that. So lots of accolades, yeah? He ran a mobile cervical cancer detection unit in Natal. He trained the first 44 nursing sisters who were allowed to take cervical pap smears in the country. So the man has been breaking the glass ceiling right through with no support, I guess, but determination and drive and focus and commitment to his profession. And he was also a member of the council between 1983 and 1993. So I think that's it. There's a lot about Professor Mokgokong here. He's acted as a gynecologist to the Zulu royal family from 1874 to 1988, as a gynecologist to the Swazi royal family in the 80s. So I'm sure you've had many cattle and sheep that were awarded from those visits, Prof. So right at this age of 89, he still runs an outreach workshop in the Capricorn region of the Limpopo province on a monthly basis. Right now, some of our colleagues, they are too happy to just focus on what they do, their practices, their research, but outreach is very crucial and important. So he has retired, but he continues to contribute to the health in South Africa. So we salute you, Prof, there. I think I have covered most. Then the last one is that he was a committee member of the Natal Road Scholarship Committee. So that's amazing. So that's about the young man sitting right there. And we are so happy to have you today. I phoned him so many times. The last time we had his brother who's sitting right there, I was like, his son, where is your dad? I can't get hold of him. And I would phone and he wouldn't respond. And the day I caught him, I said, you're not getting away. You have to say yes now, whether you're coming for this. So I'm so happy he's here today. So colleagues, I'm gonna move on now and introduce our second guest, who is Professor Sarla Naika. There are lots of my classmates and colleagues there, and Prof. Naika was one of those humble, easy to approach, calm, motherly, teacher. Never, even if you didn't prepare for your case, say, go and read about it next time, eh? But it never shout at you. So, and Prof, she's a professor emeritus of medicine and chair of graduate studies and research. She was here and then he moved to vets. She was actually the first Black nephrologist in South Africa. Yeah, so we've got all firsts here. And as I said, it didn't end there. She's trained so many nephrologists in South Africa, both male and female, both African, Indian, white, everything. So everybody really has been, most of the nephrologists have been under her leadership. She's in the Executive Council of the South African Nephrology Society since 2012, and that's the position that she holds. And she chaired the South African Ministerial Advisory Committee for Transplantation from 2017 to 2019. She is one of the, I know my friend Dr. Prof. Madala used to work with her very closely, and I know she used to share with me how Prof. Naika, when you've got renal failure, there were criteria in terms of who qualifies for dialysis. And it was obvious that people who came from rural areas did not qualify because they don't have running water, they don't have toilets, they don't have ablution and all of that. But Prof. Naika was one of the people who fought for the rural and the under-resourced and underprivileged, together with Dr. Naika, who's sitting there, who I also want to acknowledge as a very humble, lovely, fatherly person who was there during our 10 students. So she has mentored a large number of postgraduate students, hosted postgraduate trainees in internal medicine and nephrology, and supervised approximately 50 students at a master's and PhD level. That is a lot. All you researchers know how difficult it is to supervise PhDs. She has participated in numerous national and international conferences, including the World Congress of Nephrology, and has published 17 book chapters and over 200 publications in peer-reviewed journals. So that's a real achievement. Just gonna pick on the highlights colleagues. So some of her awards, I'm just going to pick on a few. International Distinguished Medal of the National Kidney Forum. The F stands for that foundation, yeah, which is a USA-based. He also received the Philip Tobias Distinguishing Teacher Award at the University of Witwatersrand in 2006. So Professor Naika was here with us and she left for Wits, but she never lost. She didn't cut the umbilical cord with us. That's the amazing thing about her. Although she moved on, she continued to keep in touch with us and support our students. She also received the ISN Roscoe Robinson Award and also an award for exceptional service, a medal, Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Wits in December 2013, and the Best Postgraduate Supervisor Award. Supervisors will realize this. It's not easy to supervise students. There's personalities, there's challenges, there's work overload. For someone to get an award like that, that really means something. So she's also an honorary life member of the SA South African Renal Society and a foundational recipient of the fellowship of the Nigerian Association of Nephrology. There's lots of this here, but I shall end there, Prof. Naika. I hope I've mentioned most of the highlights that you are very proud of in your career. Moving on, the last but not the least. I should have started with you, Minister. I realize that I don't actually follow protocol, hey? I need to be punished. Yeah, but you know, Minister, I start with professors with PhDs, okay? Yeah, so Dr. Joe Pahla, Minister of Health of South Africa. Dr. Joe Pahla holds a Bachelor of Medicine from UKZN. And in fact, I was looking, we enlisted all the MSRC presidents, and I saw his name there. I was like, wow, leadership starts from a medical student days. And I think we've got a number of them here who have also been. I think Dr. sitting in front here also was a member of the president of the MSRC, and he's still young, but he's got a bright future for himself. So he also completed a diploma in health service management from the University of Haifa Institute of Science in Israel in 1992, and a certificate of general management, marketing, and finance. He practiced as a medical practitioner in various hospitals in several provinces of the Republic of South Africa, including KZN, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo. So he's been to all the provinces, so he's the right person to be our minister. So, Minister, I have a line of people who are going to address a few questions after you leave here. So we have to be opportunistic. Once we get to here, make sure you address our challenges. So you better escape through that door before. So he then became the first member of the Executive Council, MEC, responsible for health and social development in Limpopo province between 1994 and 1997, before taking up the other portfolios, such as the MEC for Education, Sports and Culture until the year 2000. He became the Chief Executive Officer of South Africa Sports Commission, which was the overall coordination and regulator of all sports federations in the country. He was elected to the National Executive Committee of the ruling party in 2007. And Dr. Pahla was the head of the ANC presidency. Responsible for coordinating the offices of the president. So during the 2010 FIFA World Cup, which was staged in South Africa, Dr. Pahla served as the Director General. We know how successful that was in the National Department of Sports and Recreation. He then later served as Deputy Minister of Arts and Culture from November 2010 and May 2024. So he was appointed as Deputy Minister of Health with effect from May 2014 to May 2019 and reappointed in 2019. So he is the current chairperson of SADC Malaria Elimination 8 Initiative, a coalition of 8 countries working across national borders to eliminate malaria in Southern Africa by 2030. So colleagues, I had to spend time going through the achievements of these colleagues of ours. So even if it takes long, it's their day today. And you are here to hear about their achievements, to learn from them. Listen, how did they do it? How do they do it? And how do they manage all the challenges that we have in life? And we've got young people here who are here to be inspired by their achievements. So I'm going to move on now and hand over to my beloved Nongcebo, who has been amazing in hosting this for us. She is a communication person, is doing a PhD, and she also hosts a program on UKZN. Some of you have heard a beautiful voice, and she also many times plays a voiceover. If you need any, or she speaks beautiful, brilliant Zulu and a lovely, soothing voice. So please don't make them sleep now, Nongcebo. Yeah. So I shall hand over to you, Nongcebo, and thank you so much, colleagues, for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Professor Dlova, for the introduction, and thank you again for having me to be part of these conversations. It's very inspiring, and it's very challenging also when you realize how much people have done. And as Professor Dlova was saying, that we walk and we engage with people who have achieved things that we didn't know there were hurdles that needed to be passed. I've never thought about who was the first Black gynecologist. And you go to the gynecologist as a woman and you never think that somebody had to break a barrier. And so to sit in this room of such greatness is really, really an honor. And thank you very much, Prof, for having me. And thank you very much for joining us as well. I'm sure we're streaming on the School of Clinical Medicine YouTube page again. And also, this is a conversation, so you are welcome to ask questions as we go through the conversation. And I'd like to just ask Professor Mokgokong to raise his hand. Prof, he was one of our guests, not in the last one in November, but in July. And when Professor Dlova was referring to, can you imagine, two legends in one family, father and son? So again, that's really amazing to see. So just to kick off our conversation, I'm always curious. I'm going to start with you, Minister. I don't want to be punished by not following our protocol. I'm always curious, your journey to being a medical student at the University of Natal. These days, the world is tiny. People go on the internet, they apply, they accept whatever placement that they get and is sometimes of their choice. How do you land up at the University of Natal back then? How did you all the way land up here?
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation to Prof. Dlova and to everybody involved in the evening.
Sorry, Minister, can I just ask that we have technical assistance with the mic?
The mic, no?
No, he's wearing his mic, his lapel mic.
I've got it. Is it on?
It's on. If they can just...
Oh, okay. No, thank you very much to Prof. Dlova and everybody who was involved. She can tell you that she didn't mention it wasn't easy to end up here. I asked a lot of questions because amongst other things, you know, as much as she motivated to say, no, we need to do it, we need to acknowledge, because I believe that, you know, there are people like Prof. Mokgokong, Prof. Naika, other seniors to us who deserve a lot more recognition than some of us. So I did question, but she managed to convince me that it's actually important that I be here. So thanks for the persuasion. To your question, to be honest, I ended up here by mistake.
Oh.
Because by chance, let me say, maybe not a mistake, but rather qualified to say by chance, because as you've said, ordinarily, during our time, information was very scarce, especially career information. So in my village, when somebody, first of all, when I grew up, very few people who passed matric. And like, oh, if you pass matric, you've really achieved. And then later on, the standards were a little bit raised. One of my senior neighbors got a BA. So, oh, it was a big celebration in the whole village that somebody got something called a BA, you know. Now, fortunately, my parents felt that I needed to go to a boarding school. We were just talking with Prof. Mokgokong Senior about the role of boarding schools during the time. Because I was doing well in the primary school, no, they convinced my parents that I need to go to a boarding school. So I ended up at a boarding school just outside Polokwane. And because of the boarding school was achieving quite good results, a number of people ahead of us, when you get into the trick, then you start talking, hey, what are you going to do? And so on. And then look at, and because I was a little bit more comfortable with science and mathematics a bit, and although doing well in other subjects, I was focusing more on a career in engineering. And I applied to I applied here at engineering school, VETS, UCT, to the engineering faculty. And at that time also, because I did my matric in 1976, there was also when there were a number of people who were ahead of us who came here to do medicine. There were quite a number ahead of us. Prof. Mokgokong will know people like Jackson Pafudi, who there's a late Steve Moabelo. There were quite a few, Lazim Khudi, Dr. Patella. There were quite a few people from that school who ended up here. So we're also following, their journey. Just to cut a long story short, so and then we're also informed, I think somewhere mid-year, that there was no option of applying to what we used to call Wentworth, that there is no more admissions, especially for for Africans. So, and then somewhere later in the year, we're told that, no, you can apply. Apparently, they've reopened. So I ended up throwing in an application. Now, my preferred career, which I was hoping for, which was engineering, all the universities were positive, but at the time, then they all qualified it by saying, you have to get the permission from the Minister of Native Affairs, the Bantu Affairs. There was a Minister of Bantu Affairs. You have to write a letter to the Minister of Bantu Affairs if you're going to go to a white university. Because unlike the medical faculty here was black section, but the engineering was for whites. So I wrote to the minister, I think it was a certain Bota. I wrote a letter to the minister. I did get the reply, and the reply was a decline to say you can't, you haven't motivated enough why you want to go to a white university to do engineering. We're giving you, and you can go to Terflo.
This new apartheid medical school, and they said they wanted to know what is true. My answer was then to them, the radio would have taken a chance if it wasn't true. There could be so.
We all want to leave that back there where it was, but that was one of the things that doctors were commenting about during COVID, where they were saying, thank goodness people do not have access to alcohol. You've got to think, well, there must be a reason for it. Give them a chance to do it. So